Story 1. There is zero chance we want to go see what that sound was that you heard in the middle of the night because we are just as scared as you, but we do it anyway. Story 2. I have been experiencing extremely painful dental issues for weeks. I did not realize that I was hiding how much pain I was in from my wife until she asked why I was so upset about having to reschedule my dentist appointment today. Update. I went to the dentist. The pain was due to gingivitis, which I am getting treated. Thank you to the supportive people. The rest will be forgotten by the time I wake up tomorrow. Story 3. I was late getting home because there was an excellent song on the radio, so I drove around a few extra blocks just to enjoy it until the end. Story 4. If I am quiet, it does not mean I am upset or something is wrong. 90% of the time, I am either tired, thinking about something else, or just do not have anything to say. Story 5. You initiating physical intimacy, even rated PG, is your secret key for us. We do not experience that often, so it is magical when it happens. We wish it were the norm. Story 6. When you send us selfies, we will probably save our favorite ones to the cloud. We like hearing you laugh. No, those pants do not make you look fat. You are fat, which is what makes you look fat. Story 7. The smell of my wife's hair is the smell of home. They say your home is where your heart is. She's 5 feet tall and I'm 5 feet 8 inches, so when I hug her, which is as often as possible, I can't help but get a waft of the smell of her hair. That scent has become the ultimate comfort to me. It makes me feel like whatever is going on, no matter how bad it might be, it will be okay. My wife is my respite, my spirit animal, my home. I can't tell her too often because she is Vietnamese and shows affection differently. So she might roll her eyes at me for being mushy and cheesy, but sometimes I tell her anyway, just in case she forgot. What else don't I tell her? That she is pretty. Instead, when she asks if something looks good on her, instead of telling her she looks good, I say it looks horrible and demand she take it off right now. Sometimes I catch her smiling as she turns around after the eye roll. Story 8. Everyone passes gas in their sleep. We don't mention it because we like you. However, if you hold it in all day around us, it will come out eventually. Story 9. I do not know if you look good in that dress because I have no sense of fashion. It is probably fine though. Story 10. Sometimes we genuinely have no thoughts, just silence in our heads. We also notice small things but pretend not to so we do not seem weird. Story 11. The amount of overthinking I do, the whole I am fine even when I am not. My goal is to make my girl happy. The last thing I want to do is burden her with my issues and overthinking. I always think, do I say what is wrong and risk ruining things? Or do I keep my mouth shut and just let it eat at me? Story 12. We love it when you initiate intimacy. It does not have to be all the time. We will do our part. However, it gets tiring if we are the only ones initiating. We want to feel attractive and know that we also excite you. Story 13. Compliments or acknowledgments of good performance are things we will remember forever. We do not often receive these, sometimes for years at a time, so when we do get a genuine compliment, it feels incredibly good. Story 14. Yes, your friend is attractive and sometimes more attractive than you, but we really do not care that much and it does not bother us like television shows exaggerate for their plot lines. We recognize they are attractive and move on. We chose you because we love you. Get out of your own head. Story 15. When we want to be alone, it is not because we hate you, do not want to be around you anymore, or do not find you attractive. It is not about you at all. We really just want to be left alone. Story 16. If you were bitten by a zombie, I would absolutely put you down immediately and not lock you away in the basement to prevent this monumentally bad idea from literally coming back to bite me. Story 17. When we are being intimate from behind, we sometimes look directly at your anus. Not every time, but enough that someone in a long-term relationship could probably identify it in a lineup. Story 18. We miss you too. We get anxious when you are not talking to us. We love you too. Trust me, even after a huge fight, we think of you everywhere we go. Story 19. We want you, think of you, imagine being with you, and impressing you. All of this is very hidden and suppressed because it is unattractive. Story 20. An entire childhood of being called a sissy or worse by other men your age or older anytime you show weakness or emotional vulnerability affects us for a lifetime. If you ever wonder why it is so hard for me to open up, that is a big part of it for many of us. Story 21. We go through much more internally than we will ever let you know. We do not want to feel like a burden to those we love. Even if you tell us we are not being a burden, we will still feel it. Story 22. We are obsessed with you, but we can't show it. I don't know, it almost seems like women don't like men on social media half the time, even if the woman is heterosexual, but maybe they are playing the same game. I think most men I know are generally infatuated with women as a whole. We are different, yes, but we love that difference and everything about you all. You are amazing and help make the world turn. That said, we have to play it coy at first or you will get the ick even if we really like you. I was down bad for my wife on the first date, but I had to keep it cool. It is such a delicate balance and hard to get a woman to know you like her so much, but you are not a person who cannot carry himself as an individual. With my wife, when we actually got to know each other and we were both locked in, then I could truly express how insane I was for her without scaring her. Story 23. We love supporting women by making their lives easier. The car is full, wipers are checked, and the car is serviced. Story 24. It is time for me to talk to my therapist again because I do not believe a single one of these commenters, and they have no reason to lie. Story 25. If I get my fingers crushed in a doorway while moving furniture, it does not hurt less because I am a large person. Story 26. The first time my daughter hugged me, I realized I could not remember the last time someone hugged me. Years had passed. She is still the only person who has hugged me since then, and I cherish it every time. Story 27. When we do not want to tell you something, sometimes just go with it. Sometimes it is just meaningless nonsense in our heads, and you may wonder what choices you made in life to be exposed to this nonsense. For example, how long does Darth Vader stay in jail? Or is the janitor in Scrubs and the policeman on The Fugitive the same person? Story 28. We keep notes. When my wife and I started dating, I made a notes file for her with important dates and favorite or preferred things. At this point, 99% of it is memorized, but I still keep it. One day my memory might not be as great. Story 29. We have considered what you look like without clothes. Even that person who is kind, polite, and shy, and does not display any sexual energy, has also thought about you without clothes. Story 30. When we tell you that we do not think you look fat, ugly, bad, or any other negative way, we truly mean it. To us, you are the same person we fell in love with however many years ago. Your body may change, but our vision of you never changes, at least for me. Story 31. A female colleague gave me flowers as a leaving present 2 years ago, and it is the best gift anyone has ever given me. I doubt I will ever receive flowers again. Story 32. Some of us are really depressed and hanging by a thread. Sometimes a kind word, compliment, or even a hello helps us get through and not end it all. Story 33. We understand that when you share your problems, you want us to listen, offer comfort, and make you feel heard, not try to fix things. When you are sharing or venting, it is usually because we like each other. The issue is that this behavior is how we treat men we do not particularly like but cannot walk away from when they share their problems. Wow, that sounds really bad. Story 34. I have a list. Bear with me as I share my thoughts. Yes, you did gain weight. I love you just the same, if not more, for caring about what I think and voicing your concern. Yes, there are objectively prettier girls than you based on what I and my group of friends tend to prefer. For me, however, you are the prettiest, most attractive girl in the world, and I'm glad you're mine. I love you so much that I would absolutely protect you if needed. I would definitely question why you want me to do that, but I can't fully express how I feel because many people before you have hurt me. I trust you up to the limit that I trust myself and no more. There is no healing this completely. I am open to giving you more, but I don't necessarily trust you with all the information. It's hard to explain. Story 35. You do not need to be dressed up to be attractive. The real things that we fall in love with are your little quirks. It might be a lilt in your voice, a turned-up nose, a thick booty, or the way you smile. It is not perfection that we look for. We just want real. Story 36. Chances are we do notice you flirting with us, but we do not trust our senses because getting it wrong can be humiliating. Story 37. I think a reason many people do not like their mother-in-law is because they see the direct results of her parenting and how it affected them. Can be infuriating in some cases. Of course, I am a bit standoffish with the woman. She is the reason you have an anxiety disorder and wince at leaving a task undone, no matter how small, because you can feel her slap and undermining critique coming. Story 38. We constantly think about our mistakes, spiral downwards, and feel unworthy. But we just want to be reassured that we matter and are loved despite our failures. Story 39. Not all of us, but many of us. We do not miss your advances. We understand that you are flirting, but we often do not make a move for fear of misinterpreting the message and being perceived as a creep by you and your friends when you tell them. Story 40. Guys really do not care about breast size as much as movies and television would lead you to believe. Not even close. Story 41. The moment our trust is broken or something is done that disrupts the peace, it is over. There is no actual moving past it. It may not be spoken about, but it will present itself in other ways. Story 42. We imagine protecting you even when the odds are against us, risking ourselves to ensure your safety. Story 43. We look at your photos, those videos of you laughing, silly videos, and previous conversations when we miss you, feel down, alone, or anxious. They make us smile, feel warm, and forget about our problems. Please continue to send us videos of you laughing, being cute, and silly. We love them a lot. We really enjoy receiving pictures of your face. We can't get enough. Story 44. I find you more attractive when you wear baggy clothes and when your hair is messy. You do not need to wear revealing clothes or dresses all the time. Story 45. We have the ability to shut our brains off, to the point where we think of absolutely nothing. We do not share this with women because they cannot shut their brains off at all, even while sleeping, and this irritates them. Story 46. It gets old only giving compliments and not receiving them. Yes, we want more intimacy than we are actually having, but it is not just about physical satisfaction. It is about feeling close with you too. We need to feel wanted as well. Probably my favorite thing to hear is you laughing at a joke I made. Story 47. Deep down, we all need a place where we are not disturbed and where we make the decisions. Whether it is work or a hobby, we need something that only we control. Story 48. It would be better if they cared or showed interest in our work, if they were more curious about what we are doing. Story 49. When you diminish what I like, it hurts my feelings. Calling the sports I like, sports ball. Making snide comments if I try to play video games even a little bit. Calling me a nerd or a kid because I like Dungeons and Dragons and high fantasy media. If I take care of everything I am supposed to as a boyfriend and head of my household, as well as being a supportive and empathetic partner and friend, why can't I reach for the childlike joy we all used to experience? When I was a young adult not doing anything but getting high and fooling around, I understood being denigrated for it. But now, as a competent, capable, and compassionate adult, I feel as if I have earned playtime. Fun should not be limited to useful things like fixing X or buying Y. Maybe I just want to lay on the couch and watch Transformers one time. Story 50. We truly believe you look better without makeup, and we understand that wearing it makes you feel prettier, but sometimes it does not do you any favors. Story 51. That males have body, mind, and personality insecurities too. That boys are sexually abused too. That we are not respected for tears or exhibited hurt. That fathers often do not provide affection to boys. That males have no mentors to teach them how to be better men. That toxic masculinity is what happens when homophobia is pervasive and no one challenges it. Every time a man says, "I am straight," he is saying, "I am not gay," and he cannot tell you where the word straight or gay came from. Story 52. 6 years ago, a stranger gave me a compliment. It happens so rarely that I still regularly think about that moment. Yes, intimacy is nice, but more than anything, I want to feel safe enough to not have to manage the house and responsibilities. Even if for just 10 minutes, I get to lay my head in your lap while you run your hands through my hair and tell me I don't have to worry and that you have everything under control. It almost brings a tear thinking about that kind of bliss. Story 53. Many people will never be fully emotionally or mentally vulnerable with a woman due to the fear of it being used against them in the future. Story 54. The number of things I do not have strong opinions about or think of is astounding. Also, I prefer the piece of clothing that makes you happier. Story 55. Sometimes, a simple act of self-pleasure is better than dealing with the effort of sexual performance. Story 56. We divide men into roughly two groups when it comes to how they treat women, and this is a significant social factor. Although humans are good at hiding their true personality, some do not hide it well or reveal it when they feel it is safe to do so. This does not result in just two categories. Throughout my life as a man, I have met those who, 1. Treat women as just other human beings, individuals equal to themselves. Do not treat women equally but hide it completely, the most concerning group. Do not treat women equally and reveal this when no women are around, mistakenly assuming others share their views, which can be an awkward experience. There are also niche subcategories, such as those who are submissive to women, afraid of them, or those who openly resent women, for example, due to personal issues or social rejection. This is one of the essential yet unspoken reasons why some men do not connect or form friendships. It is not just because of sports teams. There are deeper reasons why we sometimes avoid interaction altogether. Story 57. We listen to you and learn from your reactions. If we tell you we had a hard day at work and our boss is difficult, and you respond with, "My day was harder," then expect us to share less about our day at work. If we tell you that someone tried to pick us up while walking home from work and we denied them, showing our wedding ring, and you react by getting angry and going through our phone looking for signs of cheating, expect that we will not tell you next time it happens. When you complain that we don't communicate enough, we start to wonder why we bother sharing anything with you or even coming home to you. Story 58. When we suddenly look away, scratch our nose, or look at the phone after a sad scene in a movie, we are actually crying but do not want to show it. Story 59. I have never told women I have dated, or even been close friends with, what my job on a ship actually entails. The fire and emergency drills we constantly run are because we frequently have small fires and flooding. Swinging a multi-ton piece of equipment while the ship is rolling, to ensure my coworkers and I are not crushed, is a nearly daily occurrence. If something happens and we have to abandon ship, the chances of my survival are extremely low since I am one of the people responsible for keeping the lights on and the ship afloat as long as possible for boats to launch. Actually making it to a lifeboat does not improve those odds much. Everyone I know who is not in the industry sees my job as a way to get paid to travel and stay out of an office. They do not need to know more than that, and I am happy to keep it that way. Story 60. Sometimes we might just love you and everything about you, but it does not have to be about physical intimacy. It might just be the spark in your eye, the smile on your face, the sun in your hair. To say we love you would feel wrong and creepy, so we say nothing. Story 61. There is a lot of the usual content that the question in this thread generates happening here. I do not see myself in many of these comments. To the people here who feel like they need to hide their feelings from their wife, tell her what you feel and what you think. She loves you, does she not? It is much better to have someone else to talk about those feelings with. Story 62. You might be the only friend we actually trust, but we are still afraid of being too vulnerable because our society taught us that the scariest thing in the world is being vulnerable. Story 63. I am serious when I say please stop. I have limits, and if you keep pushing even though I have told you it is too much, I might have to raise my voice. That is not violence. Story 64. Your lack of kind words for us and the absence of genuine compassionate touch, both sexual and otherwise, are a huge detriment to our mental health. Being constantly seen as the provider and fixer of problems with little in return is a heavy burden. Story 65. We keep almost all of our difficult issues hidden. The vast majority of us have learned through life experiences that it is never worth talking about those things. I have trauma that I have never spoken out loud, and I am 32 years old. I do not plan to either. Story 66. I still have the messages where my now fiancée poured her heart out to me over 4 years ago. I probably look at them every couple of months, still wondering how I got so lucky. Story 67. All things you all think we are too dumb to notice, we are not, we notice. Especially if it is something where you pull a fast one and think we are too dumb to make sense of it, we know. We just do not have the energy to argue over some foolish matter. Story 68. When we itch our testicles, we do not actually scratch them. We pinch and roll the scrotum. Sorry, boys, our secret is out. Story 69. Some of us unlearned the ability to cry in our childhood. Sometimes we just sit there wanting to cry but do not know how. Then we sit quietly and cry internally without tears. Story 70. If I say I got a great deal on something because it was on clearance, you can bet it was not on clearance. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.